they market themselves as a health drink. There was a lot of health claims on their front package: strong muscles, strong bones, and a lot of other things, immunity support and everything. And when you
Mhm.
turn around the back package, a large percentage of Bournvita is just sugar. Coke and Pepsi, of
Okay.
course, is bad, but when if you start saying that okay, this will make you sharper or taller or stronger, and that is my issue. Company sent me a 13-page legal notice. It was very dense, like legal, like as you can imagine, like a lot of
Right.
lawyer type words, and it
Mhm.
was sent by one of the biggest law firms in India. There was a hoarding in Marine Drive which someone put up against Bournvita, and I still don't know who put it up. But it just became a
Okay.
whole movement that everyone was like, how can you bully this guy who spoke the truth? हजारों साल के हिस्ट्री में हम सिर्फ लास्ट
Mm.
50 to 100 years से पैकेज फूड खा रहे हैं. Ultra processed food has been linked to several illnesses. Trying to get food in the school curriculums. कितना
Mm.
कैलोरीज हमें खाना चाहिए, कितना प्रोटीन खाना चाहिए, कितना फैट खाना चाहिए, सैचुरेटेड फैट क्या होता है, अनसैचुरेटेड फैट क्या होता है. तो ये मेरे
Mhm.
हिसाब से एक स्कूल करिकुलम का पार्ट होना चाहिए.
Hello and welcome to this very special broadcast on One India. We have seen several cases of late being handled in the court of law, especially when it comes to consumer courts. There is a process that takes a lot of time, firstly, and secondly, many a times one would say that the light at the end of the tunnel looks rather too far. But this time around, a man from West Bengal, Revant Himatsingka, dared and did what not many others had done before, challenging Cadbury, the company that makes Bournvita, an energy drink, quote unquote, for the kids and for young adults. And Revant questioned the quantity, the percentage of sugar in that particular brand, Bournvita. Revant joins us there on the show from Kolkata. Revant, thank you so much for speaking to us. You are a food farmer. We can see it on your t-shirt also. We'll come to that. And please explain also what a farmer with PH means. But before that, tell us what happened 8 months ago and your latest says, Hum jeet gaye.
Yeah, thank you so much, first of all, for having me. So,
Mhm.
what happened 8 to 9 months ago was I made a video regarding Bonvita and how much
Mhm.
sugar it has. And I was really bothered that, they market themselves as a health drink. That's what it says
Mhm.
on Amazon and everywhere else. And all their
Okay.
ads were focused on how healthy it is. And,
Mhm.
there was a lot of health claims on their front package: strong muscles, strong bones, and a lot of other things, immunity support and everything. And when you
Mhm.
turn around the back package, a large percentage of Bonvita is just sugar. And
Mhm.
according to me, it is not a health drink at all. In fact, most nutritionists who also would agree that it is not a health drink per se. That
Mhm.
was my main issue, is that I don't mind junk food. I have a problem with junk food marketing itself as healthy. That is my
Okay.
biggest issue. Like Coke and Pepsi, of
Okay.
course, is bad, but when if you start saying that okay, this will make you sharper or taller or stronger, and that is my issue. So that's what I
Mhm.
made a video regarding it, highlighting what is already in that back package. I didn't say anything new. It was already written in that they
Mhm.
themselves wrote the percentage of sugar and everything. So I just made
Mhm.
a video on Instagram regarding it. The video
Mhm.
went very, very, very viral. So it got
Mhm.
12 million views on Instagram.
Mhm.
It got way more views on WhatsApp. And as a
Mhm.
result, company sent me a legal notice, asked me to take down my video. I was very
Right.
new into it. I took down my video,
Mhm.
and then a group of doctors supported my video, saying that my video is completely scientific. Then
Right.
out of nowhere, the government sent them a notice asking
Mm.
them to take down their package and their misleading
Okay.
ads. And then
Okay.
finally, just recently, they launched a new product which has about 15% less added sugar.
Less added sugar. Okay, it's a victory of of monumental proportion, I would say. Uh, how did you arrive? I mean, you are right when you say that what the company was saying, you found it not to be that case. But did you consult any doctors or any food specialists or some maybe some labs to test the sugar content, or is it just the packaging that you saw?
Yeah, I didn't consult any of like, doctor or lab report or anything, because
Uh-huh.
I was not saying anything which was like, out of the ordinary. Whatever I was
Hmm.
saying was already what is in their package.
What
And that is
written
the
there?
best part. It is like, many people know me as the Bournvita guy, but I've made many, many other videos against many other companies as well. And the
Hmm.
reason why companies have a very hard time challenging me is
Hmm.
because whatever I say is already in their package. So they cannot say that what I'm saying is
Right.
wrong.
Right. So
So
you understood, Revant, that the percentage of sugar that was written on the back of that packet is unhealthy, because most
exactly,
of us don't. Most of us don't.
exactly. And that is not only with Bonvita, but with many, many other products as well, that
Hmm.
they market themselves as healthy biscuits. But if you look
Right.
at it, turn around the back of the packet, it just has sugar, maida, palm oil, and they market
Hmm.
themselves as healthy. And the same thing which happens with this as well with Bonvita. And that was my
Right.
biggest that was my biggest challenge. And if you look at it worldwide,
Hmm.
Bonvita, from my knowledge, is sold mainly in only two countries, India and Nigeria. And both
Okay.
these countries are, of course, not the most economically well off countries on a per
Hmm.
capita basis. So they understand their target market, that they can go to this country and market themselves as healthy, and people will buy it because of lack of options or whatever else.
Well, it also reflects, on the food consumption habits, and also whether we check the labeling or not. You're right. I mean, Nigeria, I have spent quite some time in the vicinity of Nigeria, though. But yes, I mean, in the western part of the world, they go by the kind of kilocalories are mentioned on the food labels, and obviously, needless to say, the expiry dates and all. All right, Rivant, when you took on, when you made that advertisement, or that video that you made, definitely, it created a lot of uproar, and that's why you were contacted by the company to take down the ad. The legal proceedings, did they make you to take down the ad? Was that the case?
So, legally, I'll tell you what happened was that there was
Mhm.
not way too much which happened legally from with me.
Mhm.
All that happened was company sent me a 13-page legal notice. It was very dense, like legal, like as you can imagine, like a lot of
Right.
lawyer type words, and it
Hmm.
was sent by one of the biggest law firms in India. And every single line I said in the video, they analyzed that and they wrote a paragraph that this is not true, this is not correct. You use
Right.
this thumbnail, but this thumbnail says this. So every single
Hmm.
word I said was
Right.
over-analyzed and was sort of twisted or something along those lines. And
Hmm.
at the end of the notice, they told me that you have 24 hours to delete the video, or else we will like take it ahead legally, or we'll do something more. um,
Hmm.
so, and I had honestly seen that email 12 hours after the legal notice. After this, I got that email.
So you had
So I
12
only
hours
had
left.
12 hours to respond, and it was night already. So I have like, I'm going to sleep also. So I have like very, very few hours to respond. And of course, I
Hmm.
don't have any legal background or anything. So I just wrote an apology letter, based on what they said. I
Hmm.
just wrote an apology letter saying that, okay, I'm going to delete the video and all of that. And I did what they asked me
Hmm.
to do. But then it got even
Okay.
more attention. Then all media started capturing it even more than what they did before. And
Hmm.
it became like a whole movement. And there was a hoarding in Marine Drive which someone put up against Bonvita. And I still don't know who put it up. But it just became a
Okay.
whole movement that, everyone was like, how can you bully this guy who spoke the truth?
Okay. Uh, this is strange. I mean, being caught, labeling a food something else is a different thing, and then issuing action, against someone who has quote unquote exposed them. Now that the cat is out of the bag, Revant, they have made amends, they have changed it. Obviously, I understand they won't admit it that it was the video, but I mean, you have all the reasons, to claim it, to be the one the whistleblower who actually got this done, who called it off. Do you plan to talk to Cadbury's or Bournvita now, maybe telling them that could they shed some light on this change? Just
Uh,
for a change.
I mean, I don't have any personal connections with them. They can
Hmm.
do what they want to do. I
Hmm.
appreciate and I celebrate the change that they've made.
Hmm.
I still do not consider it to be a health drink,
Right.
but because it still has 32 grams of added sugar per 100 grams, which is almost one third of the bag is still
Sugar.
added sugar. So I still would
Hmm.
not call it a health drink. So, but yeah, I would still appreciate it because I
Right.
know that for a large company, there's a lot of bureaucracy. Like, there's a lot of, it's difficult to change something. I used to work at a large company before as well. So the fact that they have been able to change it even by a little bit shows that their intentions are not as bad and they're trying to make a
Right.
difference.
Hmm.
So I
And eight
do,
months.
yeah, and it's not easy because there's a whole supply chain in the back, and
Absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
not that easy. So I do appreciate the change, is the point.
All right. No doubt. I mean, 8 months, I would say, by any yardstick, is not such a long time to bring such a huge FMCG or a brand to actually admit and maybe make amends. That's one good thing. Tell us something about yourself, Revant. I see food farmer with a PH. Tell us something about it.
Yeah, so the name Food Farmer is
Hmm.
actually, the word farmer is a pun. So it
Hmm.
stands for farmer as in the Kisan, and
Uh,
PH is like the pharmacy, farmer.
Pharmaceutical.
So the idea is that food is medicine, and if we
Hmm.
start eating foods made by the farmers, we
Hmm.
can reduce our dependency on pharma. So that is
Right.
the entire thing. So I always believe that in हजारों साल के हिस्ट्री में हम सिर्फ लास्ट
Hmm.
50 to 100 years से पैकेज फूड खा रहे हैं. अब
Acha.
हजारों हजारों साल की हिस्ट्री देखोगे, खाली लास्ट
Hmm.
50 से 100 साल से खा रहे हैं.
Huh.
So and packaged food has been linked, like ultra processed food has been linked to several illnesses. So
Hmm.
I keep saying eat food made by farmers, and then you
Okay.
can reduce your dependency on pharma. That's how I came up with the name.
Right.
And yeah, so I mainly just make videos currently on raising awareness about food products that we consume on a daily basis, whether it's a
Right.
ketchup or a biscuit or any of these food products that we most like every single human consumes. And I try to
Hmm.
get people to consume slightly healthier foods. And
Right.
that's basically a quick background. But earlier, I was doing a lot of other things. I was at McKinsey, I was a consultant, I was an MBA, I was at Wharton in the US. So I was, for the last 13 years, I was in the US. And I just
Okay.
moved back to India. I moved back to try to raise awareness. And it's kind of magical that my first video was Bournvita and that itself blew up.
Help us understand. I mean, you have an illustrious background, let me tell you. I mean, having worked in the United States, obviously you have seen the kind of living standards, the quality of life that all of us deserve here in India, and it is very much achievable also. Not that in any way India is inferior, but the foul play that comes into picture. What actually made you to check the veracity of the food items? So it could have been anything. Started with Bonvita, just a chance, I would say. But is that your background also in food? Something, if I may ask, that what profession were you in while you were
Yeah.
there
So
with the company?
while I was there, I was a consultant, so not directly doing what I'm doing right now. So I used
Okay,
to advise companies on various other things. But 7 to 8 years ago, I studied nutrition. So I did a degree in like a health coach degree.
right.
So 7, 8 years ago is when I started reading labels for the first time, and I always say this: learning how to read a food label is an even more important skill than coding in the 21st century. Like 21st century,
ओके
everyone says coding सबसे important है.
बिल्कुल
मेरे
बिल्कुल
हिसाब से
बिल्कुल सब बच्चों को भी सिखा रहे हैं आज तो
हाँ.
बिल्कुल
और
मतलब इतना
कोडिंग में क्या
प्रेशर
है
है
ना, 2-3 साल लगता है.
जी
फूड
जी
लेबल फूड लेबल सिखाने में आपको 3-4 दिन लगेगा, एक हफ्ता लगेगा. तो
बिल्कुल
आप
बिल्कुल
एक
बिल्कुल
हफ्ते में इतने ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट स्किल सिखा सकते हो किसी को. सो आई
हम्म हम्म
ऑलवेज
हम्म,
से इट्स एन इवन मोर इम्पोर्टेंट स्किल देन कोडिंग. And that's when I realized, because most of what we are consuming today is ultra processed foods, packaged foods. So
Hmm.
if I teach people how to read a label, I can, teach them one of the most important skills in their life. So coming back to your question,
Right.
7 8 years ago, I learned all of this. I even
Hmm.
wrote a book back then, maybe having it somewhere near me. It's called
Yeah. Sure.
Selfienomics.
What is
And
called selfienomics.
huh,
Acha, selfieonomics. The food
so it was
selfie.
It was a self-help comedy book, but it had a chapter on nutrition. So I had a
Okay.
whole chapter on food labels, how to read food labels, and all of that. And since then
Hmm.
itself, I've been preaching and I've been asking people, "Why label पढ़ो, कुछ मत खरीदो ऐसे ही बस देख के marketing देख के मत खरीदो, label पढ़ो." तो 7 8 साल से मैं बोल रहा हूँ.
Hmm.
और फाइनली मैं जब यूएस में था, मैं आई यूज्ड टू एडवाइज अ
Hmm.
लॉट ऑफ कंपनीज एंड मेनी ऑफ देम वर इवन फूड कंपनीज.
Uh-huh.
And this was mainly in the US, but I realized that this false marketing and all is even higher in India, and I wanted to
Hmm.
do something about it. So I made a very very drastic call that okay, I'm going to leave the US, come back, and I'm going to focus on this, focus on
Hmm.
raising
Right.
awareness about this. So that's what I did. I came back to India, made this account. I changed. मेरा नाम पहले रेवंत हिम्मत सिंह का, मेरा Instagram मेरा personal page में था. I
Right.
changed that. I made it food farmer, थोड़ा catchy और करने के
Okay.
लिए. First video एक click हो गया, and that's how it happened.
What are your social media addresses where our viewers can reach you? Twitter and Instagram, if possible.
Yeah. So Instagram is food farmer.
Hmm.
Uh, Twitter is food farmer 2. And the
Okay.
reason is because I earlier had Food Farmer and then my account got hacked. And
Oh,
coincidentally, it got hacked the same day I received the legal notice from Bournvita. I even posted about this. I'm not trying to make any claims that, why it happened, who did it. I'm not
we
trying to say
leave it
anything, but
to our viewers' imagination.
yeah. But that's why I had to make a new account with Food
Food
Farmer 2
farmer
because
too.
my earlier account got hacked. So that's how it's been. And yeah, now I'm finally and like even on YouTube, you can just find me on Food Farmer.
Lovely. We will definitely, hear from you more. And we have seen the story that One India has filed on the recent conquest, I would rather say, that you have made in your efforts. All the very best for that. One quick, comment from your side, since you come from a developed nation and you have spent a substantial amount of time there. Barring food habits and the promotion of food and the labeling of it, is there anything else that India can work on towards the betterment? Say, for me, if you ask me, I would say traffic. What did you find when you immediately came back that India had something that could have been fixed?
So regarding the food issue itself, besides the labeling, there's one more is which I'm also trying to work with some other health expert is trying to get food in the school curriculums. सो
Okay.
आप स्मार्टेस्ट बच्चे को पकड़ो इंडिया में, आईआईटी का
Hmm.
बच्चा को पकड़ो, आईआईएम का बच्चा को पकड़ो, उसको पूछो आप हाउ मेनी ग्राम्स, like how many calories are there in 1 gram of fat, or like basic nutrition questions, and they will
Hmm.
not be able to answer it.
नहीं
And
नहीं, क्योंकि हमें कभी फैमिली में बताया भी नहीं जाता है और ना ही कभी
हाँ
एनकरेज किया गया और ना ही मैं अपने
हाँ
बच्चे को कर रहा हूँ, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट.
हाँ, तो
प्लीज.
कोई भी और नहीं में स्कूल में हम लोग पढ़ाया गया, तो मेरा ये एक मानना है कि स्कूल में खाने
हम्म.
के बारे में हमें बहुत सीखना चाहिए कि कैसे लेबल पढ़ते हैं, लेबल खाली नहीं, बट कितना
हम्म.
कैलोरीज हमें खाना चाहिए, कितना प्रोटीन खाना चाहिए, कितना फैट खाना चाहिए, सैचुरेटेड फैट क्या होता है, अनसैचुरेटेड फैट क्या होता है. तो ये मेरे
हम्म.
हिसाब से एक स्कूल करिकुलम का पार्ट होना चाहिए. So that is
राइट.
one separate thing from labeling.
हम्म.
Outside of that, of course, there are many, many other things um, like just trying to help people to think critically. Like, a lot of us believe any and every WhatsApp forward we get. And often it is because we do not think critically. So, these kind of skills, if it is tried to be inculcated in a very,
हम्म.
like a kid, that can be very useful. And basically getting people to ask why, like,
हम्म.
why, like, क्यों हो रहा है?
जी.
Make people curious, like not blindly believe their parents and society around them. I feel अगर
हम्म।
वो एक skill लोग में आ जाए, it'll be very
तो
very like it'll have a lot of impact.
right, Revant, I know this question was a little bit off our discussion routine, but I wanted to know from you because you are obviously, of that age where the consumption, be it news, be it any information, is highest on social media.
Yeah.
And if you ask, someone else of an older age group who talks about a changed India, then the examples get different. But that was the reason why I wanted to know from you that how does the youth of India, think and wants changes to be assimilated in the Indian polity and in the Indian social life. Thank you so much, Revant, for speaking to us from Kolkata. Ladies and gentlemen, रेवंत हिम्मत सिंह का, इनके हिम्मत की जरूर दाद देनी होगी। इन्होंने कैडबरी जैसी बड़ी कंपनी को चैलेंज किया। उनका एक प्रोडक्ट आता है जिसे बॉर्नवीटा कहते हैं हम, और आपने बचपन में इसे जरूर पिया होगा क्योंकि सिर्फ दो ही ब्रांड होते थे, बॉर्नवीटा और हॉर्लिक्स। और बॉर्नवीटा में रेवंत ने पाया कि जिस तरह की शुगर की मात्रा उसमें दी गई है वो जरूरत से कहीं ज्यादा है, और उसकी वजह से वो हेल्थ ड्रिंक नहीं रह जाता है। इसको लेकर 8 महीने पहले ही गॉट अ लीगल नोटिस फ्रॉम बॉर्नवीटा, कैडबरी, और उन्हें वो वीडियो हटाना पड़ा। लेकिन आज 8 महीने के बाद कैडबरी ने, बॉर्नवीटा ने अपने प्रोडक्ट में, जो बच्चे पीते हैं, जो यंग एडल्ट्स पीते हैं, उसमें शुगर की मात्रा को कम कर दिया है। सो दिस इज अ विंडिकेशन ऑफ फॉर रेवंत। एंड रेवंत, हमसे बातचीत करने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। फूड फार्मर is the place on Instagram where you will find it, and on Twitter @foodfarmer2 is where Revant can be accessed. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Revant.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Thank you.